Hey,
Good
it's FAB Friday.
morning, everybody. Welcome into Colourwerx Dezign Haus here on a Fab Friday. It's a rainy Fab Friday here in Palm Springs, which is unusual for us. I think it's about 60 degrees out, and it's been raining all day, and it's going to rain all day. So that's most welcome, but it's unusual for us. So it's a little gray in the studio. There's not a lot of sunshine to play off of here.
But we've got a turkey.
But we do. Well, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And it's early. It's a week early or so, but next week is Turkey Day. And so happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Gobble, gobble. And like I said, welcome in. This is our 61st episode of Fab Friday. It's Friday, November 21st, 2025. And welcome in. I'm Linda.
And I'm Carl.
There's Carl. And this is the Colourwerx Dezign Haus, where we do fun, bright, happy quilt patterns and fabric designs. What have we been up to? Well, do we dare talk about painting, Carl?
Sure, we can talk about it. Nothing happened.
No, nothing happened. So we did post about a week ago that we were going to have this painter come in and help us do all the baseboards. You know, this is the ever-going project here at the Design Haus to get the condo done in Palm Springs. Remodeling, and we did have a painter scheduled to come in, and of course we worked our butts off spackling baseboards and getting everything ready, moving furniture to the middle of rooms,
Every room.
all the quilts came out of the closets, everything. It was quite an undertaking. And he called us up that after the afternoon before he was supposed to start. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon. He was supposed to start the next day at 7 or something.
Yes.
And decided he couldn't make it because his job was running along somewhere else. And that was that. And so at that point, Carl decided he was going to do these jobs himself now.
Yep.
So he's been testing sprayers, paint sprayers, and we're attempting in the next week before Christmas to try to get all the painting done. If you've been there, then you know exactly what we're talking about. It's just a ridiculous task.
Every room.
But we'll get it done. And I see that Teddy is checking in. Good morning, Teddy. Good morning to you all out there.
Good morning, Teddy.
Go ahead and place comments in the comment boxes, and we can respond to them live for you. Let's see. What else am I going to say? Oh, yeah.
Road.
So painting and road. So if you are coming to road or not sure about road, please come to road to California this year. It's in January 21st to the 24th. We will be having a booth there. I will be teaching 2 workshops that are already sold out there on the Monday and Tuesday. It's the week of Martin Luther King holiday. So in case you need that on your calendar, but it is the 30th anniversary of Road, which is quite fun. And they're going to do some big celebrations with some big giveaways. So we are happy and honored to be part of their 30th anniversary, as we are every year with them. And we are a vendor. So we had to put that up. So we want you to make a date with us. Come visit us at Road to California in Ontario, California. It's not too hard to get to, and it's not overcrowded like it would be if we were in downtown LA or something like that.
And it's usually nice weather.
And it's usually nice weather, which is good, you know. So that is the news there on Road. We also have some trips planned. We're going to visit the Desert Lily Quilt Guild, the Desert Lily Quilters, in the 1st of December, which is out in Yuma, Arizona. And then we're actually going to take Coco with us. And then we're
going, road trip.
Yeah, we have a workshop planned there with them, which will be super fun. They're a lovely group of ladies out there in Yuma. And then we're going from Yuma to Scottsdale to spend a couple days in Scottsdale to look at all the Christmas lights and look at downtown, because we've never been there. Good morning, Mary Ann. Thank you for checking in as well. So nice to see you too. So that is our news today. Other than the painting, I don't know. That's just going to be all-consuming painting. Doors. We have 5 interior doors that Carl replaced over the summer. Trim all around those doors. And baseboard, like 1,500 square feet of baseboard, which is not fun because everything has to be moved out of the way for the baseboard. And Mary, what is Marianne? Oh, Marianne says she will be there. Oh, good. Well, great. We're looking forward to seeing that. And we're looking forward to that trip as well, into Yuma and then off to Scottsdale. The other thing we're going to talk about is our new fabric line, which is Kaleidoscope. And there's a little preview for you guys. I have some news on this. we may, meaning Colourwerx, meaning Carl and I, who designed this fabric line for Benetex Fabrics, which we're really super proud of, we may be getting an advanced order of Kaleidoscope fabrics just in time for Road to California, as well as to put up on our website. So if you're a lover of butterflies or you just love beautiful, bright, coloricious fabrics, make a note of this. If you have a local shop that you attend to and you go into, please ask them to look out for the Kaleidoscope butterfly fabric from Colourwerx. They should be able to start ordering it sometime in December or maybe early January from their Benetex rep or from their Benetex website. But we are going to get an advanced order, we think. I'm not going to promise anything yet, but I'm kind of putting it out there.
Well, a little birdie told us.
Yeah, that we might get an advanced order. So that would be super nice. And we're just going to give you a sneak peek of some free patterns that will come along with that too. I'm kind of rolling it out, little snippets of this. There'll be 2 free patterns. One on the left is using the panel where you don't even have to cut up the panel. It's got 20 beautiful butterflies all going in different directions. And those are 8-inch squares. So you just simply trim the panel, don't cut a panel, and then do your piecing on the sides. And then the other thing is on the right-hand side, that's also another free pattern, a second free pattern that will instruct you how to make either a table runner and or 2 20-inch pillows. So those are coming out in the next, I don't know, couple months or so, with a lot of other patterns that we're designing, especially for the collection. The other thing on patterns is our 2 newest patterns, in case you haven't taken an opportunity to do this, are still 15% off up on the website. That is actually through November. So if you want to take advantage of that or tell your friends, they're both available in both a paper pattern format and a PDF pattern format. And for those of you who pre-ordered early, thank you so much. And thank you for your patience while our printer shipped them to us. He was a little late, but we still got them. But they're up there, 15% off, PDF or paper pattern. Which actually brings us, I think, to our tutorial today, if no one else is checking in. And we're going to say hello out there to everybody. Make sure you subscribe to our Colourwerx YouTube channel so you won't miss any tutorials that are being posted or another Fab Friday live event and all of that stuff. But let's start our tutorial today, which is all about Mirage and how to choose colors for Mirage. We're going to do a little bit of color theory lesson as well. And so if we go, to the slideshow, thank you, Carl. I want to show you a couple different renditions of Mirage. We've been actually recoloring this and making this for several fabric companies because it's one of our new patterns. This is the cover quilt that you see here. It's a beautiful kind of mixture of oranges and limes and yellows, which of course is an analogous color palette. And why do we call that an analogous color palette? Because those are colors right next door to each other on the color wheel. But this is a fabric line coming out from Andover Fabrics next year. So you're getting a little sneak peek from Alison Glass. And she has come out with a new fabric line, which is kind of a basics fabric line called Color Camp. And so if we go to the next slide, you're going to see all 4 colorways of Color Camp going on. So what Alison has done is she's designed 20 different SKUs and put them into 4 different colorways. So we have that kind of pinky lemon, pinky lime, what do you call it? Pinky yellow up there. And she's given them names like Grove and Dusk and Orchard, and I can't remember what the other one is. So there's like that pinky lemon, there's a tealy lime colorway. Right above me is that beautiful fuchsia and purple. And then she's also done that, I'm kind of over it, but the blue dusky kind of bluey purple colorway. And these are all Mirage. But if you look at this for a minute, you can see part of what makes Mirage, the new pattern, work is the fact that you've got fabrics that look like they're overlapping other fabrics or that they're actually morphing into different colors. But believe it or not, that's just 12 different fabrics. So one of the things when you go about to make Mirage is that you have to choose 4 color groups. They can be any of the 4 color groups. And then you're choosing light, medium, and dark values of 3 fabrics for each of those 4 color groups. So you get 12 fabrics total, but think about it in 4 colors, light, medium, and dark values. So that's how we get to the 12. If we go to the next slide, this is a crazy one that we just did for Free Spirit. It's a little hard to see that illusion of the fabrics morphing over each other on this one, but that's because of Kaffe and Kaffe Fabrics, and this is going to be in the lookbook, but you're also getting a sneak peek of Kaffe Fabrics, Kaffe Fawcett fabrics that are coming out in February 2026. It looks beautiful
live.
It does look beautiful
in
live.
Person.
And the photo sometimes gets a little mushy, I think, because of the coloration and the fact that
scale.
Computers are miscalibrated for color and things like that. The next one is beautiful. This is Hoffman Ballet Batiks. Everybody knows Hoffman Batiks. They've been around for years and years. These are 2 new collections coming out for Hoffman next year. The orangey kind of fuchsia ruby red there in the bigger picture is the collection called Sundown. And then the little one above me is called Mermaid Lagoon. But again, these 2 really show off the illusion of Mirage, meaning you've got 4 color groups and you've got this illusion working where it looks like the fabric is morphing or changing colors. Now, if we go to
look at the Mermaid Lagoon, you've got the secondary patterns.
And you've got lots of, yes, exactly. Carl's right. You've got all these secondary patterns working on. And this is, I might add, the hardest part about this quilt, actually, if you're going to make Mirage, is the fact that you have to choose your colors. That's the hardest part, because piecing this quilt is super, super, super easy. Now, this is the opposite. If we could flip back to a Hoffman fabric there, and then flip forward, did you see that what we did on this quilt, which is our Kaleidoscope Butterfly collection coming out next year, the center squares are not light, they're actually the darker values. So we just switched up the fabric value to create the illusion that the fabrics were morphing to a darker color when in the center, if you will. And that's something you can consider too. So how do we start? Let's start on the overhead. I think we're there. So, oh no, we forgot our color groups, I think, on that slideshow. I did. I went too far ahead. Okay, this one. Yes, so this one is with Superior Solids with Benetex. Beautiful solid collection from Benetex Fabrics. And this is what we're going to use for our example today as we walk through how to choose colors. And we're going to show you actually some fabrics that we did from our stash and what it looks like. So if you look at this one before we advance the slide, you can see we've got 4 color groups. We've got a blue, we've got a green, we've got a teal, and we've got a kind of a gray teal.
Gray blue.
And so those are all on the pattern. They're noted on the pattern as color groups. So you have color groups 1, which is your blue, color group 2, green, color group 3, teal, color group 4, gray. And you can see that they're all different values. So the color group 1 and 2 are kind of your dark medium values. Color group 3 and 4 are your medium light values. And that's important to create the illusion of this fabric morphing into another color or into a transparency, if you will. So if we go to the next slide, what you'll see is the 4 color groups that I broke down for you in case you couldn't discern it in the quilt you're looking at. So again, 4 color groups, and you get to decide this at home, but I'm going to give you the hint. So the hint is that when you go to make Mirage, think about even numbers going together and odd numbers going together. So what I mean by that is color group 1 and 3, choose color group 1, whatever color you want that to be, yellow, blue, green, and then choose the analogous color for color group 3. And what that means is that if I'm choosing blue for color group 3, I'm going to go right next door on the color wheel to either a purple or a teal to choose for color group 3. So odd numbers are together, so to speak, or they're closer to each other. And those are the two, the odd numbers morph, the even numbers morph. So color group 2, if I'm going to choose green, well, then I want to choose something that's right next door to that on the color wheel. So this happens to be a totally analogous quilt, meaning all these colors are next door to each other on the color wheel. But now if we go to the overhead, you're going to see the cover version, and the cover version is not analogous. You can see you've got green and it's morphing into like kind of a yellow. And you've got orange and it's morphing into kind of a peach color there. So color group 1 and 3 are that top left that you see going on. Color group 2 and 4 are right down here in the orange and the peach. And this is the pattern again It tells you on the back, it's divided by color groups, 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's 3 different sizes in the pattern. So you can do a baby quilt, a lap quilt, and a large lap quilt, which is 80 by 80. And you've got some other different color selections to help you, figure out the way colors might look together. The pattern is, of course, in typical Colourwerx fashion, very detailed, all color, with all the layouts there for you. And again, 15% off until the end of November. But let's talk about if we were going to do this quilt here, and Carl's brought it up there just to remind you. And so let's talk about if we're going to choose colors. Well, the first thing I like to do is I like to go off to the paint store. And you've heard Carl talk about why he likes paint chips. Well, I like paint chips too, because you know why? When you go to the fabric store, you don't have any confusion about what color you're going after if you have a set of paint chips with you that you have selected, and that these are kind of like your beginning color recipe. It's like making a cake. You basically start with, basic ingredients, flour and baking soda and things like that. That's what paint chips do for you. So I always encourage people when they're don't have any idea where they want to start, is take yourself off to the paint store and choose some paint chips. Now, before we get into these colors that you see here, you could go and choose like this thing, which is from Lowe's, from Valspar. Can you tell we've been really painting here? Of course. But this is their all color kind of, I don't know, the best color from Color Stylist. And so this is a great little thing to put in your little sewing notion kit, because it's got all the colors from green, yellow, red, blue, and purple. You could cut these apart and create your light, medium, and dark values for your Mirage quilt, even your grays and whites there. So that's something to keep in your stash as well. But let's go back here. So I went off to the paint store knowing that I wanted this kind of colorway that I was going to do. And what I like about these cards, these are from Lowe's again, is you can see that I just selected a combination of colors I liked, but what this gives me is immediately, it gives me my dark, medium, and light values here. So I don't even have to really think about any more about it. So if I say, okay, well, great, that's like, color group 1. Now I could choose this one. This is one of my favorite color cards too. This is from Valspar Lowe's. I don't know if they make these anymore, but again, there's my dark, medium, and light values already put on the card for me. And then it's got these nifty little windows that I could take this into the quilt store and find fabrics to match. So that might be an option for color group 1. And there's Carl, he's with me, good. So there's that reminder of what color group 1 is actually on the pattern. But you would just go into the store. Now, remember I said color group 1 and color group 3 should be analogous. Okay. Well, if I was going to move to color group 3, can I do that, Carl? There. Oh, that is the analogous color to color group 3. And there's even like a little more saturated if I wanted that. Now, how do I know that? Well, I'm going to grab my handy duty color wheel, right? So here's blue, the blue, blue. What's next to blue? Green, blue. See? Analogous. So blue, green, blue. All right, let's go to group 2. Can I do that? There we go. That's going to be green. Okay. And this is another just card I picked up. I just liked the tones in that card. It had nothing to do with, at this point, whether I can find fabric to match. It has to do with, do I like the colors I'm looking at? Do I like the shades I'm looking at? Again, I could choose something a little more saturated if I wanted. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm putting these out there as a question mark because I haven't seen them in the stores lately. So don't go looking for them. I don't know if they're there. I could easily, too, with color group 2, if I decided that these were just a little too tinty up here, I could come in and just choose something else as a single swatch, But this is where the paint chips actually help you determine not necessarily the fabric yet, but the tone or the hue of the color that you're going after. And again, remember, going back to our color wheel here, again, groups 2 and 4 are going to be analogous to each other. So if I turn my color wheel here to green, right? This is where I'm at. I'm on green or I'm on yellow green, right? Well, analogous to that is either more of a greeny yellow or more of a blue green. It's somewhere in here, but I want it to be different than this blue green. So I'm going to go more with a gray. That's just my choice, So there it is. And I could come in, there's thousands of these cards. But you say, okay, that's really great, Linda. Now, how do I choose fabric? Well, let's start with, what are we going to start with, Carl? Group 1?
Yeah.
Let's start with group 1. I went to my stash, and I have not a large stash anymore. I don't keep a lot of fabric in here. But I went and chose some beautiful chalk basics from Benetex. Now, these are things I had in my stash. I didn't have the opportunity to head off to a quilt store and actually go shopping. You would have a lot more opportunity if you're going to your quilt store or you have a large stash. But you know what? That works pretty well. I've got a dark, a medium, and a light color going on, light value. Even though it's on the darker side, it's still dark, medium, and light. Because I've started with this one, or I can start with this one, which is dark or medium, and then I go to either side of that, so to speak. So that really kind of matches that card maybe a little bit better. It does work with this card as well. And again, the reason the cards are important is because when you go shopping for your fabric, these just keep you on the right track of what you were thinking immediately. Again, it's your starting quilt palette recipe, if you will. Okay, so that is now color group 1. We're going to put those up here and move off to, we'll put these cards here, and then we'll move to color group 2, which was our teal version, right? Oh no, it was green. Sorry, color group 2 was green. Okay, let's choose some fabrics. Again, I went to my stash and just got whatever I had in stock. So this is more of an olive color, but it's still considered a dark value. And then this is my medium value. And this is, making sure it's right side up, my light value. And that works pretty well as well. So let's put that over there. Now I'm going to go to color group 3, which is my teal here. Not the gray teal, but color group 3 is the more of the strong teal.
It's analogous to group 1.
Yes. And I'm going to go and choose just whatever I had in my stash again. I'm running out of room. Let's come over here. Get these over here.
Need a bigger studio.
Get these over here. Okay, so that's dark, medium, light. This is again chalk basics from Benetex Fabrics. I love them because it's just like a little bit of a tone on tone. They look like they're kind of hand dyed a little bit. So that works for me. And again, you know, these paint chips are great because again, it just gives you the road, you know, a road map of where you're going. This is a little harder because this reads gray. It's really like a green gray.
Or a blue gray.
Or a blue gray. I didn't really have a lot in my stash. This is not a color palette that we use a lot. But if I had to and I wanted to use my stash, that works pretty well. It contrasts. Remember I said 1 and 3 have to have some type of analogous relationship.
Contrast.
But they also have to contrast so you can see the illusion of them changing. 2 and 4 also have to see the illusion of them changing. And these can be quite different colors, but you know, they also have to be different in value. And that's the importance. So meaning that 1 and 3 can be dark values, then 2 and 4 have to be light values or opposite if you want. But that's what I chose there. Now, this is not a chalk basis, of course. It's a crumpled scrap that I had of a light gray. And I would say probably that is close. And then I said, you know, when I looked at this, I said, well, that's really great. But then I challenged Carl to go choose.
You did.
I did. I wanted him to go choose some K Fawcett fabric.
Oh, one of the easiest fabrics to pick.
Yeah, they're not the easiest fabrics to pick at all. But what would we do? Let's just clear the deck now. If we were going to actually take our paint chip cards into, let's say, a K Fawcett collection or any kind of busier collection. So, you know, remember, this is group 1. These are my paint chips that I'm trying to match. And this is what Carl came up with when we went into the K Fawcett fabric. So he went in and he said, well, that might be, this one might be my dark value. This is a little more turquoisey, but that could be my medium value. And then this could be my light value. And if you look at those 3 together, especially against this color card,
it's pretty spot
on. It's a pretty good match. And that's why the paint chips help you, because what happens is when you're looking at fabric that has designs and multiple colors and multiple designs on top of designs, you have to just let your eye tell you whatever color that is. So if this is, and this is why this paint chip helps, because you can go in and you can say, yeah, that pretty well matches, or that matches, or that matches. And then you're looking at the color of the fabric, or the overall color of the fabric,
and not the design pattern.
And not the design pattern. And that's the way it will read when you put it in your quilt as well, I promise. Okay, so that's color group 1. Let's get into color group 2. How do I do that? Let's see. We need our card to know what we were going for. This is a little bit different, but Carl has a really good eye for color too, and you can too with the paint chip. That's the dark value he chose.
I chose that as my dark, yes.
Now we were going between this card and maybe that card. So I'm going to put that one under there.
Or I like the first card.
Yeah. So do I. And this is the medium value, which is a spot. And it looks like maybe the lighting might be washing this out slightly. It's a little bit more saturated here in the studio. But this is Aboriginal dot. It's got a slight pink hint to it. And those are beautiful together. And so that becomes color group 2.
That was pretty good with the card too.
Yeah. And if I put the card on top, you can see it pretty well keeps you
in the range anyway.
In the range, on the right road. Let's put those like that. Okay, color group 3.
That's your teal group.
This is yes, this is the teal group. I got to get my ducks in a row here. And remember, color group 3 is going to be closest to color group 1, meaning where it lines up on the quilt pattern. And again, if I bring that up, you can kind of see that would be my green and the lime there. It's that top row going on. Okay, let's look at what Carl did for color group 3, which is teal.
Flip that card around.
Which one? This one. Yes, we need the dark on the top.
Dark on the top.
Here's dark value.
Like that one.
This gets crazy. Here's medium value.
There we go.
And here comes light value. And this is like a little aqua Aboriginal dot. Notice that he's choosing Aboriginal dots for the small center square.
Just for commonality.
And I'll show that to you in a minute, because I like to pop whatever that center square is. I don't know if we can bring up that blue quilt again right over this so people get a reminder. So do you see there's a little small square in between all these blocks, when you make the block? And I like to use that small center square to pop the block. So it's either light value, the lightest value of the 3, or it's the darkest value of the 3, moving on, if that makes sense. Okay, so that's pretty good. That's how those match. And then we get to that kind of odd group at the end, which is the gray group there. And again, this is just keeping me picking the right fabrics, picking the right tone of fabrics. I'm not having to try to match any of this. This is crazy. So here comes dark value. But this is where Kaif is a master at color, because depending on where this cuts, it is reading pretty much as a gray periwinkle, which is periwinkle is blue and gray and some purple. And so that would be the dark value. Here comes the medium value, another spot from Kaif. And then here comes the light value. Again, and it's another Aboriginal dot with like a little hint of pink in there. Now we had 2 choices. I could also put in this one. Actually, Carl came in with this kind of, it's not my favorite, but I'm only going to see a little square in there. It works. Now I could leave that there and maybe take this one over to here.
That looks good.
That looks good too. Maybe this one comes here.
Yeah, you can switch it around.
You can switch it around. But you can see with Kaif, you have to call the color what it is. And the paint chips really help you. So there would be my 12 fabrics. And I could make, based on whatever yardage I buy, whatever size Mirage I wanted to make. Again, making of the block is very simple. And the hardest part, I think, and I wouldn't even call it that hard, the hardest part about this quilt is probably picking your 12 fabrics. But again, if you just think about the formula where you have 4 color groups, 3 fabrics in each color group, go ahead and decide what those colors are in advance, right? Use your color wheel if you have one to simply choose whatever color you want. So like, again, if I was making this one on the front cover, again, that's a green yellow. Well, next to green yellow on either side is yellow or more green. So that would be groups 1 and 3. Groups 2 and 4, if I'm doing the orange and fuchsia, let me turn the color wheel so I've got more of an orange red here. Well, on either side of orange red is either more orange or peachy orange or more fuchsia. Either way it works. It's just light, medium, and dark values, basically, or 3 different shades if you want.
Well, yeah, well, light, medium, and dark is always good.
Yeah, which is what value is. Value is a shade, a tint, a tone, and
gives you drama in a quilt.
It does. You need the value. So with that is our little tutorial on how to choose fabrics.
Teddy said if you don't get the paint chip with the hole, you can use a punch.
Actually, that's a great idea. I never even thought about that, Teddy. That's a great idea. Yes, you could actually get the paint chip without the hole, I guess, and then cut your own little hole in there if you want. You know, but paint chips are marvelous tools, only in the sense that the range of colors that you see will help you pick whatever fabrics you're trying to pick. Because I know I get this way. I think sometimes when we go into a fabric store to choose fabrics for a new quilt, if you don't have something like a paint chip helping you direct your mind, direct your eye to whatever color you're trying to go to, it's just overwhelming. There's just too many fabrics out there now, and the stores are constantly changing. And depending on which store you go into, depends on how they've arranged their fabrics. I mean, if they don't have them arranged by color, it makes it, or by collection, it makes it very difficult. So anyway, that's our tips on Mirage. I hope that helps. Where are we going now?
Well,
I think we were trying to figure out if Coco was in the house.
Room. She just entered.
She's being kind of snooty today. Coco!
Oh! Whoa! Where are you today?
She's getting ready for
where's your collar?
The cocoa can.
Oh my.
Well, let's see that. She's getting ready for Christmas. Yes. There, we took a picture of the collar.
There she is. What?
Yes.
No, well, let's go back live. So
my.
So you're napping because it's raining. She's been in bed all morning.
Yes.
So the tree is next.
Yes. So let me just clear. The other thing I want to remind you guys of while we look at Coco. Whoa, Coco, doing your thing. It is Christmas coming up, and people are doing Christmas sewing. And so I want to remind you, here we go, that if you are doing any kind of Christmas sewing and you're using magazine patterns, because they're easy patterns, we can go to the overhead, you can actually scrap it up. So a lot of times, in magazines, we get simple shapes to applique, balls that are Christmas ornaments or snowmen, trees, Christmas trees, which are triangles, wreaths, that kind of thing. So how did I do this little placemat? Well, this is just a triangle that you might find in a magazine, or you can make one up. And I took an assortment of green strips, wonky pieced them together, which is very easy. You're just offsetting them from right to left. Everybody knows our wonky piecing. Draw your shape on your fusible web here, and fuse it to the back side of this, and then cut it out, and you get a wonky, what I call a wonky Christmas tree, or a wonky shape. It just adds a little more interest to your applique shapes, and especially this time of year, everybody wants to use their scraps, or they want a quick project to give away as a gift, or maybe in a quilting guild boutique or something like that. So this just adds a little more interest instead of doing it out of one fabric. And I always like to bring it up at this time of year to remind everybody that yes, you can spice up your applique a little bit, doing a little wonky piecing in advance, use all your scraps.
And decorative stitching.
And then you can come in with some decorative stitching to do garland across this, or if you have an embroidery, digitized embroidery machine, you could have it embroider out some saying here or whatever. So that is my little tip for the holidays. I don't think we'll be doing any of that this holiday, Carl, because we're painting. Yes. So I want to thank you so much for joining us today. That is our little tutorial on Mirage. Remember, they are 15% off throughout the end of the month. If you want to tell all your friends, that's for Mirage and Color Twist. And we're going to be back next month in December. Hopefully, maybe we'll have our paint clothes on. I don't know.
Wait,
and
we may be in a smaller room.
Yeah, we might be in a smaller room. Who knows? But happy Turkey Day, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And have a great day, and happy Colourwerx quilting always.